Hello, Mr. Jones. My name's Hugo Henderson. I'll be your physiotherapist for the day.
Cool.
Would you like to take a seat? Right, so firstly, Mr. Jones, I'm just going to be doing a subjective assessment on you. This will involve me asking you a few questions about your condition. I just want to see if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. So I want to begin with, starting from the beginning. Can you please tell me what has brought you here today?
Well, I just had a stroke a couple of weeks back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry to hear, Mr. Jones. Could you please maybe specify exactly when you had this stroke?
I'd say maybe about like 2 weeks and 2 days ago.
2 weeks and 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Right, and could you maybe elaborate on by telling me exactly what you were doing when you experienced this stroke?
Well, I was just having a beer with my mates and after work and just started to feel a bit off.
Yeah.
Unwell, as you want to call it. And yeah, just decided to, leave the pub, go back home, and just have a lie down. But yeah, once I reached back home, like I was just so dizzy and lightheaded, and suddenly, bam, just fainted.
You fainted, did you?
Yeah.
Right. And when you fainted, how was your movement after that when you woke up?
Well, yeah, that's the worst part. So basically, when I woke up, I couldn't move my left arm, I couldn't move my left leg, and I just couldn't really talk properly at all.
So it seemed to be that really impact that left side of the body there.
Yeah, I reckon.
Right. Well, Mr. Jones, that does sound like quite a frightening experience. Can I ask how you got to a hospital if you did black out?
Yeah, well, yeah, as I said, I couldn't really talk, but luckily, I was just trying to make as much noise as possible, and my neighbor, Joe, he just came over, and yeah, and then he just called the ambulance afterwards.
Joe called the ambulance
Yeah.
for you and got you. Oh,
Yeah.
really, thank God for Joe. I'm really glad he was there for you.
Yeah, really.
Now, I've just actually gone through before I came in here. I was having a look at your referral, and I see that you spent 2 weeks in the hospital physio rehabilitation ward, but then you've just started discharge yourself. Could you tell me about your experience in the hospital in the physio rehab ward, please?
Mate, the treatment was fine, really. Yeah, they were really good people. But yeah, I just had to go home to look after my dog. Yeah, he's just a 8-year-old cattle dog called Bluey.
What a name. I'm a big dog person myself. I've got a little Labrador.
Yeah.
His name's Bob.
Cute, yeah.
Is Bluey completely yours? Did you get him 8 years ago? Or
yeah, I adopted him.
Oh, really?
Just from a friend.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Nice one. All right. Going back onto that condition, Mr. Jones, could I ask, have you experienced anything like this before? Like a stroke before or anything?
Oh, well, not really.
No?
I had sort of high blood pressure and high cholesterol before, but other than that, not really. Just had a lot of energy.
Right. So it's just the high blood pressure and high cholesterol?
Yeah, just before.
Yeah. Right. With your condition, Mr. Jones, could I ask, do you feel any pain with it?
Well, yeah. As you can see, I've got my left arm in a sling, and yeah, I can't really move it at all, and my shoulder is aching constantly. I've got sharp stabbing pain in my arm when it got caught in anything. Yeah, and the swelling in my left hand just causes my fingers and my wrist to have major discomfort with them. And yeah.
Right. And I really see that what you're saying where this pain's coming from, it really is still coming from that left-hand side of the body, of course,
pretty much.
where you had that dramas when you woke up after fainting.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about that arm that's in a sling, the shoulder, your fingers and hand, do you reckon you could maybe rate that pain out of 10 for me?
Well, yeah, my shoulder was, I'd say, maybe about a 2 out of 10 throughout the day.
Was it achy or stabby?
Just achy, I think.
Achy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the arm?
When it gets caught into something, then the shoulder's just probably about 8 out of 10. It gets pretty painful.
That really aggravates it when it gets caught in something.
Yeah. Don't know how I do it, but yeah, gets caught into something.
Daily life these days.
Yeah.
Does it go away soon after, or does it take time?
Well, yeah, probably give it about 15 minutes and just goes away after it.
Right. And what about the hand?
Hand, probably about 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Um,
Perfect. Sorry, I shouldn't say perfect because it's not at all. But I just want to ask now, Mr. Jones, over the course of your day, how does your pain change, or does it change at least?
Well, doesn't really. Throughout the day, normally, like it's pretty constant, but yeah, it's quite a big issue at night.
At night, this seems to be when it's the really big
Yeah,
issue.
just like when I'm sleeping, pretty much. Like, I probably wake up at about, like, I'd say, like 6 times a night.
Right.
Just pretty much because, like, when I roll onto my shoulder, every time the bloody pain just takes half an hour to settle in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too awkward and time-consuming to get up, so I just sort of lay back and
Wait for the pain, sort
wait
of,
for
to...
the pain to settle.
So it really can keep you
yeah.
up for quite a long time at night and be
It does.
quite disrupting. Really sounds like it does really disrupt your sleep. Am I right in saying that?
It does. Yeah.
Right. So obviously we know the night seems to aggravate it, but are there any other things that tend to really aggravate your pain, especially in that left-hand side of your body?
Just like usual stuff. Getting dressed,
Yeah.
driving around, and also just lying on my shoulder.
Like when you were saying when you're in bed before.
Yeah.
Right, and that pain, what do you seem to do to manage it?
Pretty much just a lot of rest, basically. Like
Yep.
just resting at home. I take a few tablets of Panadol throughout the day.
Panadol?
Yep.
Yep.
Just good old alcohol.
Some alcohol?
Yeah.
Could I ask how much alcohol?
Just a few glasses, I guess.
Yeah, no
2 or
worries.
3.
Understand. Right. I just wanted to now, if you don't mind me, I just want to delve a bit into your family history and a bit of your own living situation and whatnot, just so I can start to get a bit more of an understanding of yourself and your life and see if, this is maybe stemmed from somewhere.
Definitely.
So firstly, is there any family history on cerebral vascular accident, as in a stroke, is what I'm saying there?
Yeah, haven't really, not stroke specifically, but my dad did die from a heart attack when he was 60 years old, and my grandparents also died pretty young, but don't really know the cause of it. My mum died in her nursing home at about age 76. She was 76 years old, and yeah, not sure if my brother had any history of strokes or anything, but yeah, I don't really keep in touch with him.
Yep, no worries. Well, I have to understand, that history. Could you maybe now tell me a bit more about yourself? What are your hobbies and interests? What do you do for work? What do you enjoy doing casually?
Well, normally before this happened,
By this, you mean the stroke?
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, just usually go to the footy, play snooker with my friends, and have a few beers at the pub. But yeah, I haven't really done this since the stroke.
You fancy yourself as a bit of a snooker player?
Yeah, maybe. Might go pro.
Wish I could say that. I'm horrible. So, like you said, you seem to have stopped doing these things since your accident.
Yeah.
Would you say you're stopping doing them because of the pain, or?
Well, partly that, but not really as well. Like, to be honest, I just don't feel comfortable socializing in the pub anymore, ever since the episode happened.
Yeah, I do really. So you just don't feel comfortable being out in public after this happened.
Yeah.
Socializing. Yeah.
It's just a bit awkward.
Yeah. And your working situation? Are you currently working, or were you currently working?
I was working as a builder.
Yeah.
Building in residential areas. Yeah.
Right. And so you obviously didn't require any aid for walking like you're using now?
No. Well.
No.
Not really.
Okay. And now your living situation, could you tell me a bit about that? Who do you live with, or whereabouts do you live?
Well, I'm just living in a housing commission at the moment, where my pretty much near where my mum's nursing home used to be. And,
Yep.
Yeah. Oh well, I guess like it's single story.
Mhm.
And recently, my occupational therapist installed a few rails at the
Really? Yep.
front 3 steps and
Okay.
the rear 2 steps.
And has that helped you?
Yeah,
It has?
Yeah, it definitely has. Just like, especially when I don't have my walking stick with me.
Yep. Your aid.
Yeah.
And so, since you can't work at the moment now, what you're saying,
Mhm.
how has that changed? Can I ask you
Yeah.
how your
Well, I've
how your
got-
income is working at the moment?
Yeah, I've got disability pension at the moment since I can't work. So, and well, I don't really have the education needed to do anything more complicated. Yeah.
No, I completely understand.
Yeah.
Around your home, is there anything specifically that you can't do that maybe you'd really like to do or anything?
Well, I usually I do mow my lawns and do all the basic house repairs by
Yeah.
myself. So yeah.
Yeah, no
Just
worries.
look after my dog, Yeah.
Yeah,
just
perfect.
really
Bluey, that was.
Yeah.
You have to bring him into one of these sessions, or outside, of course.
Yeah.
If you want to let us know.
That's right.
So just a few more questions here. Are you taking any medication at the moment?
I think I'm taking. Well, I'm just taking aspirin just to
Aspirin,
deal with the pain as well.
mm-hmm.
And Lipitor
Tour,
and Covasil.
Cofasil.
Yeah.
Right, is that it?
Yeah.
No worries, perfect. Have you had any surgery recently or ever in the past?
No.
No. Have you had any tests or investigations done on your health recently?
Not really.
No. Now, have you noticed any changes in your weight? It might be a bit of a weird question, but it really helps us determine with health conditions.
Don't think so. Not that I've noticed.
Mhm.
No.
And finally, I understand this is quite personal, but this done really does give us a good gauge and perspective onto our patient's health. Have you had any problems with your bowel or your bladder at the moment?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
All right, perfect. Well, I guess they're sort of the main questions of information I wanted to get out of you, Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
Now, I just sort of wanted to ask you, is there any specific goals or things that you want to get out of this physiotherapy session, or sessions, I should say, with myself?
Oh, well, just getting back to work and just doing everything that I wanted to do. It was like before this, just doing my gardening.
Yeah, you were saying that, your
Yeah.
lawns you wanted to do.
Yeah. And just getting rid of this bloody pain in my shoulder and
Yeah, right.
just being able to walk again.
Being able to walk again. So really, we want to get you. You want love to get back to work.
Yeah.
Get this pain away from your shoulder.
Yeah.
Go back and do your gardening, your lawn mowing,
Yeah.
and
just having a good sleep through the night,
and of course a good night's rest.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, that's all the information I need in regards to the subjective side of things. Now I was just seeing if it's all right with you if I get you up and we can now do some physical assessment on your body.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. Just this way, please.
Awesome.